So, before we get started with the class, I think it's important that we know a little bit about one another. Introductions are usually done on the first day, and I don't know about you, but when I'm asked to stand up in front of a room full of people who I don't know and tell them about myself and why I'm there and my hopes and dreams, I'm just not a happy camper. So when they ask, how about we introduce ourselves, I'd say, how about no? It's humiliating sometimes, right? Public speaking when you're not prepared for it. So we're not going to do that. So rather than making you talk about yourself, I will talk about me. Because my name is Darren Willis. You're perfectly welcome to call me Darren if you're comfortable with that. If you prefer Mr. Willis, that's fine. If you prefer Professor Willis, and that's the form of address you'd like to use with me, that's fine too. I taught at a high school here in town for about 10 years. So I answered to lots of things. I've answered to D. Will Dog, and a number of things that I probably shouldn't repeat because they were just foul. So I'd like you to speak to me in whatever way makes you feel comfortable when we're talking to one another. There's no need to be excessively formal. My background is industrial. I spent 12 years working in the custom cabinetry and architectural millwork field on the East Coast in a state called Connecticut. Really enjoyed my ability to make things, having that kind of a background in an apprenticeship, and got to practice some design build for several years. So my background is working with tools, designing, building, engineering, and putting things together to make clients happy. It was a great career, loved it. These are the kinds of jobs that the company I worked for would do. High-end kitchens and bathrooms and furniture. So we look at the cabinets here, and they're pretty, they're really nice, right? We've got some scroll shell work up here, and this valance over the window, and marble countertops, and high-end appliances, and we had some clients that had a lot of money. I guess that's the best way to say it. They just had a lot of money, and they wanted to spend it on something. So this is a little dressing room off of a bathroom with some high-end cabinetry and furniture in it, and big fancy crown molding, and bathrooms with dressing tables and Corinthian columns, and tons of money, right? Custom millwork and woodwork on the walls and wainscoting and things like that. Awesome career, loved it. Realized when I moved to Bakersfield, though, in the late 90s, that I wasn't going to be able to do this kind of work anymore unless I was willing to drive 2 hours a day to LA and back. And 4 hours a day on the road just didn't seem like an ideal thing for me with my life at that point. So I decided it was time for a change, and I applied for a full-time teaching position at Highland High School to teach high school students architecture, architectural design, and drafting, and CAD. So I did that for 10 years and had a great experience, loved working at Highland High School. While I was working at Highland High School, I kept my hand in industrial practice. I was doing jobs on the side, design work, doing land development projects, commercial construction projects as a designer. So I was doing that part-time while I was working full-time at the high school. And then one year, an opening came up at the college. They needed somebody to teach a night class, to teach the Industrial Drawing B12 class. Although back then it was Industrial Drawing 11. It was just the CAD class. So I decided, yeah, I'll do that. So I taught one night a week, and it was enjoyable too. It was a little bit different from teaching high school, obviously, but I liked it. And then about 9 years ago, there was a retirement in this department, and they needed a full-time person to replace the instructor that was leaving the industrial drawing program. So they asked me if I was interested in applying, and I was, and I've been here ever since. So I really enjoy teaching. I really enjoy CAD and design. I really think that my background of building and making and engineering things helps me a lot when it comes time to draw. So this is who I am. I've got about 32, 33 years of hands-on experience, either making stuff or drawing and making the stuff I just drew. One thing that you'll learn about me, I think, as we work together, is I am an advocate for skills. I believe that you need skills if you want to be successful. So, unfortunately, the way the educational system is set up a lot of times, especially if you have a lot of memories from high school and benchmark tests and state tests, it seems like the only thing they teach you in school is how to take tests. And in the end, that's not really a marketable skill, you know? There are a lot of people that have advanced degrees who have terrible jobs and don't make a lot of money at all. So, having a bachelor's degree in some areas does not guarantee you work in that area. It guarantees you some student loans probably that you'll be paying off for 20 or 30 years, but not necessarily the income you were planning on. You got skills, you can be in a good position. You know, having a degree, again, there's nothing wrong with a degree. Degrees are great, but having a degree is not going to help you if you don't have skills. In 2016, 15% of cab drivers in New York City had a 4-year degree. Well, you don't need a 4-year degree to drive a cab, do you? And let's face it, in a couple of years, Uber's going to have robot cars driving, and all these people with their degrees are going to be out of work and a way to pay back those student loans. So, skills. Your average 25-year-old with a bachelor's degree pulls about $700 a week. That's the median salary. And that's not bad. That's pretty good, right? It's a lot more than just a 19-year-old with a high school diploma. I can see on the left here. But I'd like to introduce you to my friend Evan, who is 19. Evan went to a technical high school and got some automotive certifications and works for a dealer, and he pulls in bank. And you know what? He also doesn't have $40,000 in student loans. So, the name of the game, in my opinion, skills. Gotta have some skills. Industrial drawing is a good area because what you're able to do is get skills that lead to a decent median wage without a lot of time or money invested. Okay, if you went on the BC website, you'd be able to see some of our AA and AS degrees and what their median incomes are. But then for a certificate, so that's interesting. So here are 2-year degrees, and here are smaller certificates, shorter certificates that make sometimes more than people who have the degree, even just the 2-year degree. So a certificate, a lot of times, 3, 4, 5 classes, you're out the door, you're working, and you're making a lot of dough because you have skills. Okay, the graphic on the screen here just shows that the bachelor's degree, again, is not always, or the master's degree, not always the secret to great income. 31% of people with AAs earn more than the average for a bachelor's degree. And 43% of people with licenses and certificates are earning more than persons with the AA degree. So having skills in an in-demand field are awesome. Are industrial drawing skills in demand? Well, let's take a look at the different areas that require drawings, right? Construction requires drawings. You can't build houses without hundreds and hundreds of drawings now. So you've got different kinds of drawings like plans and elevations. You've got structural drawings for things like these steel trusses that have to be made, right? Anything with electronics needs to be drawn out long before it ever becomes a circuit board or wired up, right? HVAC systems for heating, ventilation, air conditioning need to be drawn out and planned. Piping systems, plumbing systems, all that stuff needs to be drawn and planned. Anything mechanical is going to have to be, carefully designed and then drawn and documented so they can be manufactured. Anything involving infrastructure, same thing. These highways, these roads, these bridges, these tunnels, these waterworks, all these things require drawings, even just to sell a piece of property. We've got to have a set of precision survey drawings made. So are the skills in demand? They are. And maybe industrial drawing is not your thing though, and you think, well, I'm really just a welding major and I need this class because it's part of the certificate. Or I'm really a construction major, or I'm in automation and this is just one required class and I'm really not interested in anything more than what I have to do for this one class. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret, again, related to skills. And it's that complementary skills make you more hireable. They make you more valuable. They make you more impressive when you are competing with 10 or 15 or 40 other people who are all trying to get that same job. So, for example, if you're here for welding, getting a welding certificate, there are a bunch of people that have welding certificates. You'll be joining them. And you know what? There are a bunch of people that also have CAD, drafting, industrial drawing certificates. But there's a very small slice of people who have both. And if we can combine our welding knowledge and skills with some industrial drawing, well, you're here in the middle in this little sweet spot. And you are more hireable, you are more valuable, you are more usable and likely to get that position compared to somebody that doesn't have those overlapping skills. Works the same way with electronics and industrial drawing. Being an electronics technician is wonderful. Being a CAD drafter designer is wonderful too. But if you've got an overlapping set of skills, guess what? You are in high demand. With engineering, when you go to get hired, the difference between getting a position and not might be, hey, can you draw things? Do you have skills that can be used in addition to your engineering knowledge? And again, it puts you in that sweet spot right in the middle. And maybe not even for hiring. Maybe you're looking for an internship and they say, well, why should we give you this internship? But I can also draw stuff for you while I'm learning. And that's just awesome, having those overlapping skills. Something that you're going to be able to do, though, to help me to learn a little bit about you, and we're going to do it a little bit more informally. So what you're going to be filling out for me is a student information sheet, and when you give that a click, it will bring you to a document. Opening that document up, you'll see we've got some things you're going to fill out for me that will give me a little bit of information about you. So click in the field and you can type your name. Click in the field here and you can type your major. If you're undecided, you can put that in too. Okay, and then we've got a bunch of check boxes here, and all you have to do is look at the reason you're taking this class, and whichever ones apply, give a click and it'll put an X in the box, right? And this is how we can check them. If you want to uncheck, click it a second time and we'll uncheck the box. So up at the top, I'm kind of interested in learning why you're taking the class, what your goals are, and you can specify another goal if none of these things really apply to you. And down at the bottom here, I'm kind of interested in knowing if you have any experience related to drafting, CAD, blueprint reading, the kinds of things we'll be doing in this class. So if you took drafting classes in high school, give a checkbox, right? Or if you're in Project Lead the Way, if you've taken some of the BC architecture classes or engineering classes, or if you have other experience with CAD through work or something else, let me know. I'm kind of interested in knowing that. All right, so each one of these can get a check if they're applicable. When you downloaded this, it came in with the name that I assigned to the file. Let's click on Save As. And what Save As lets us do is it lets us save the file with a new name. Okay, that's what I want you to do. I'd like you to change it from the name it has. I'd like you to change it to Student Info B12 and then your name. Okay, so Student Info B12 dash your name. And we should see that change reflected up here. Right now it says your name. And this is the file you're going to be giving to me and submitting to me. So when you've got the assignment saved, right, it's got your name, it's got your info, you've saved it with the new name, what you're going to do is you're going to go back to Canvas, right? And we're going to go back to that student information sheet assignment. And here's what we clicked to download the file originally, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on this button here. And this is going to let you upload your form so that I can see it. Okay, so click on Submit Assignment. And then down here it'll say, where do you want to get your file, right? So File Upload, you're going to go choose your file. And then you're going to need to navigate to wherever you save that Word document. Alright, so here's my student info for B12, my name. I'll hit open. And what we should see is it will attach that file. And then there it is, right? It says that file has been attached. And now when you click on this Submit Assignment button, boom. Now the file is sent to me, and I have it. You'll get a little notification here that you submitted it on this date at this time. And if you needed to resubmit the assignment, if you had to make changes to it, that's not a big deal. You go make your changes, you go make your adjustments, you resave it, and then you can click on Resubmit Assignment. So this is how we will set up our student information sheet so that I can learn a little bit about you.